Ellen and Howie here, and today we want to talk to you about the difference between a will and a living will. Oftentimes, Ellen, we have clients that come in to see us and they say that they have one or the other, but when we take a look at it, the document that they thought they have is not actually the last will and testament or the living will. So they're oftentimes confused between the two, yet each document, the last will and testament and the living will, serve very different purposes. So why don't you tell us what the differences are?
Right. So for the living will, it's only going to come into play for you to give to your doctors, the hospital, your loved ones who you name as your decision makers in the living will, to state that if you are in a persistent vegetative state, also known as a coma, and your doctor has said that you will likely not recover, you want or you don't want certain procedures. For example, you want food and water, which would prolong your life because your body is being nourished even though you're in this persistent vegetative state. Or you want experimental medical procedures or drugs because you want to try and come out of this coma, regardless of the fact that your doctor has said that there's little to no likelihood of recovery. And there are other specific choices that are contained within a living will, and the living will only applies to that situation.
So it's really a medical advance directive. And
Absolutely.
On the other hand, you have the last will and testament. And so sometimes when we talk about, do you have a will already? And the client pulls out a living will and they say, oh yeah, I already have a will and I've dealt with how I want my assets to be disposed of upon my death. In fact, it really only deals with medical treatment and end-of-life medical treatment.
While you're alive.
While you're alive.
Versus
Whereas the will only gets triggered upon your death. Now, you have to obviously sign it while you're alive before you die, but it has to do with the disposition of your assets when you pass away. So you can spell all of that out in a last will and testament, but not to be confused with the living will.
Right. And your will deals with your assets. If it's a broad enough will, it will also deal with how you want to be buried or cremated, what you want to do with your tangible personal property or your family heirlooms, who you want to be the administrator or personal representative of your estate if you die with assets in your individual name, and a lot of other serious administrative terms that affect what happens to you, your person, your body, your assets after you die.
So I think an easy way to think about it would be last will and testament is financial assets and living will is medical decision making, right?
Absolutely. Just be sure you have both.
Yes, very important. And so thank you for joining us today. We hope everyone is staying safe and well.